Paintball nerd.
Today's guest on Paintball Nerd started playing paintball in 1995. He turned pro in 1999 with the Ironmen. He's also played for the Diggers and Shockwave. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Catfish. Welcome, buddy. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going,
Yeah. Good, man. So I got to know, I think the world wants to know, in push, when you're on the airplane, and you're sleeping and you're drooling. Is that acting or is that a real scene?
That's I would like to say it's a real scene. That's a little bit of real and acting, but I would say more acting than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bit of a clown, you know me.
Yep. But when I first saw that, I didn't know you, and so I thought it was real. And then when I got to know you, I was like, that's not. He's not really sleeping. He's not drooling. He's just a goofball.
Yeah, a big goofball for sure.
Dude, we have some really good times.
Great times, man. Great times.
Do you remember when we were playing the Russians? This was X-Ball. And you and I pulled out a 2-on-5, and they were beating us. And we changed the momentum of the game and ended up beating the Russians. And all the sidelines, everyone was like, Rocky 5, Rocky 5. Remember that?
I do. That was during the scandal where everyone's kind of like, oh, they're videotaping and they're giving communication signals and all that stuff. Yeah, I remember that. That was you and I pulling that off. It was, I think everyone thought now, okay, that's not going to happen, but we ended up pulling it off and turning the tide. I think everyone got a little bit of energy after that.
Yeah, that's what I remember. That's how I remember it. You and I, we
carried them. We carried them through that tournament.
Oh man! And then the NPPL San Diego.
Oh, memories, my friend, memories.
Together team.
3 different teams thrown together. The last minute, I remember trying to convince Mr. U on the phone. You got to come down, dude. I told him, I promise you we win this. If you come and play, I promise you we win this.
You didn't.
I did ask him. I go.
You did.
I called him and I was like, dude. And I'm pretty sure I might have been inebriated at the time, And I was like, I was like, dude, I promise you, Mr. U, if you come down, we win this. We will win this if you come down. And sure as shit, dude.
I got to the event and I saw Pete there, like getting ready, and I was like, "Oh, you're playing with us?" He's like, "You're playing with us?" I was like, "Oh yeah." And he says this exactly. He's like, "I think we got a pretty good shot at winning this whole thing." I'm like, no, we'll see.
Yeah. Dude, I didn't even know that Ryan or Paxton was going to play with us at that time. And then they showed up like you, and I was like, whoa, we got a solid squad here. We got some heavy hitters, man.
Yeah, we had Paxton, Turd, Poopy, Billy Wing, Mr. U, Catfish, Robert Scott, and me.
Yes, sir. That was a solid squad, man. I remember we surprised a lot of teams because a lot of people didn't take it serious. I mean, to be honest, we really didn't take it too serious ourselves. I mean, we were all having fun, and I think that had to do with a lot of the outcome because we were having fun and we weren't just uptight trying to perform and win a tournament. I mean, we were there to have fun. We wanted to win the tournament. It was a plus, but more than anything, we were all just having fun playing together. I think that's what made the team gel a little bit better.
It was special too because that was the first 7-man event where they took off the restrictor plates and they're like, okay, all the NXL teams can play.
Yes, sir.
So, the Russians went in as Nexus, and then Bobby's men went in as the Ironmen. They stole our name.
It didn't help them much, so it didn't matter.
No, yeah. Well, they got second, so they went farther than most. But it was crazy because there wasn't really any 7-man teams that made the top 4 except for Excessive.
Yeah. I think it was Excessive. Excessive, and then Dynasty didn't make the cut, I believe, right? Or
they didn't. That was a weird event.
Yeah, that was an event where they didn't make the cut, and all of a sudden it was like 2 teams, us and Bobby's who shouldn't have been there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anyone thought any of those teams that from the NXL that were going to come play were going to make it. But lo and behold,
sure they didn't.
Yeah, they were just, these guys are just, thanks for giving us your money, man. Pretty much. But it was nice to walk away with the money at that one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So, Catfish, what's a memory that really stands out for you in paintball?
A memory that really stands out for me. the Commander's Cup. The Commander's Cup.
Is that one?
Is that one? Just like I said, man. I mean, as paintballers, we grind every weekend, man. We make sacrifices, and you know, if you have families, dude, we don't see our families on the weekend until we get home from practice. And that's if we don't travel for practice, because nowadays a lot of these pros are traveling for practice, so they don't get to see their families, which is weekends is when you get to spend time with your family. So, I mean, we didn't. I think it was towards the end of the NXL, and it was like the last tournament of the year, right? And we hadn't practiced or picked up a gun, and we went in just having fun, man. And I think we just went in there loose, and we weren't just uptight, needing to perform, needing to win, like a lot of these other teams that needed the win to win the series. We were just in there to have fun and cause havoc, and pretty much that's what we did. And ended up winning it. So I think that was the most memorable because I had fun with you, Billy. You know, I played with you and Billy when on the Ironmen, and then Scott came on the Ironmen as well, and had great times and, you know, battles with all of you guys side by side. And to take one, you know, out of the other league, as they were saying, you know, at the time, you know, because it was the better league at the time, apparently. And it was nice, man. It was nice. It was fun. We got in there, beat the guys that, you know, the top teams on that, you know. I mean, we beat Excessive. Did we play Dynasty? I don't remember if we played Dynasty in that tournament.
I don't think we did. I don't even remember them being in the semis. I think they had a bad event.
They had a bad event. There was someone got caught doing something they shouldn't have done. I'm not naming names, but they got
Oliver. Or was it Oliver or Mini Mike?
I think it was. I don't know. Somebody. Someone's gun went off.
It's water under the bridge.
Yeah, it's water under the bridge.
Yeah.
No.
Oliver had a cheaty gun.
I love Oliver. No. So, like, you know, getting to play those guys and getting to beat them, and it mattered because it mattered to us because we were having fun, but it didn't matter like it mattered to them as far as series points, you know?
Yeah.
And it just felt good. It felt fun. I just had so much fun. I mean, we were drinking beers out of our pods.
Yeah.
You know, I think on accident one of my pods might have had beers when I was playing. Yeah, it was a fun time, man. That was a fun event.
It's really interesting because it's like, what does that actually say? Like, what does it say when a team who's unprepared, right, and they haven't played together? It's like from three different teams, like this hodgepodge of guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, total throw together team, not prepared, didn't have a name until like the event started, and they win everything, and they're drinking beer, you know, and they're like not taking it seriously, and they beat everyone.
Exactly. We didn't have any plans. Our plans were like at the station. All right, Zyzek, you go to this right here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over here, you know, and then you shoot this way, I'll shoot that way. And dude, we ended up winning, man. It was I don't know what it says in, I guess.
Is it luck? Was it just luck? Did we get lucky?
No. I like to think we had a lot of role players. We didn't have that superstar that is going to make that groundbreaking play. We had a lot of role players that knew the role, knew what they needed to do, and we did it. We played off each other, we communicated, and we ended up winning. I think that had a lot to do with it. No one played like solo by themselves. We didn't have a lone wolf going down the middle or down a tape.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
We really didn't have that when we were playing. You know, so
you know what we did have is Ryan shooting his own guys a lot. And Poopy shooting his own guys a lot. Like
we
Poopy
still
shot
won.
him in the back of the head.
We still won.
Ryan bunkered me out of the snake and was like, I didn't know you were up here.
I remember that. And I'm watching him run. I'm like, wait a minute. That's Zyzek. Oh, yeah. That's Zyzek standing up. Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. It was a great time.
I think that's the most memorable time. I think the last tournament I played in with you guys, that's the last pro tournament I played in. And to go out like that was nice.
Yeah. And you have some amazing memories outside of that. I mean, you've played with amazing players. You've played with the legends of the game. You are a legend of the game.
I don't know about all that, but I've definitely played with some. Got to play with Marty. Got to play with Shaner. Got to play with Benini. Benini, me and him had a bet going when it was unfortunate that he had left the Ironmen and he went with Shock. But me and him had a bet where we would play each other and we had a $5 bill. And every time one of us would shoot each other, they would have to give the dollar bill, but you would have to sign it, or the $5 bill, you have to sign it. So there were times in the middle of a game, I would see Benini, and I'd be like, I want to get this motherfucker. And I ended up shooting him, and I'm talking smack on the field. Benini, where's my dollar? Where's my $5? You better have that signed. And it was fun. With him, it was fun. He's a big brother, man. And I believe he ended up with the $5 bill at the end of that. He has it.
Dude,
somewhere.
He's got a lot of cool memorabilia.
Oh yeah,
that
guy. He's been around the world and back, man. He's done it all,
dude.
He's an innovator and everything, bro.
He doesn't show it off. Like, he doesn't show the stuff that he has, but it's amazing, you know.
He's a real modest guy, man. I love the guy. Yeah. I think I kind of base a little bit of the way I conducted myself. I wasn't like in the limelight too much and putting myself out there, you know. I was a little bit more reserved, you know.
Yeah, he did create an amazing movie.
Oh yeah, movies. And and then not to mention all the products he's created, man. I mean, that guy is an innovator of paintball, of anything, man. He's the only thing with Benini that I'm pretty sure all the other smaller manufacturers out there hate is that he designed something so well that's difficult for
it. Yeah.
Yes, it's difficult for anyone else to add anything to it because you can't. You can't. He's done it. He's done it all. Like you can't add. You're only thing you're doing is you're replicating something that he's done already. You know what I mean? With your touches, but then again, it's not original. You know?
Yeah. I don't think a lot. I'm very confident most people don't know the impact that Brian Benini has had on the paintball industry as a whole. You know?
Oh yeah, he's when I was I started working at B&M Paintball, and then that's what Brahim Estefan, and he was on the Ironmen at the time. So I would hear a lot about the guys, you know, when they would go to tournaments. I would take care of the store, so I would meet them when they would come in, but I never got to play with them. And then Brian came down to work at OTP on Target Products because we would make like barrels and bolts and stuff. And he came out with this fucking bolt that I thought, you're nuts, bro. You're fucking crazy. This is a crazy idea, but it fucking worked. He made a bolt with a spring in it, so the timing would always be on an autococker. So the G1 bolt, he was the one that came up with that. And I was like, honestly, man, that's just gonna fall apart. No, man, that shit worked, and it worked, man. And that's where he got his. I don't know if he got a start there, but that was one of the things that he made, and I was just kind of like impressed. I was like, oh, that was the first time
I had the G1 bolt.
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple of them. Yeah.
I didn't know he made that.
Yeah, that's him. And
dude.
Yeah, so I was like, that's kind of creative, and like he thinks outside the box where a lot of people try to think outside the box, but he works in a whole different box. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Because when he came out with the new goggles, man, the push goggles, forget about it, bro. I mean, come on.
Dude, you know what's really cool too about Brian is he makes things with clay and like razors and like little scalpels and stuff.
Yeah.
And he puts clay and he like makes it with his hands. Like, you know, like people today like 3D print or whatever and like draw it in CAD CAM and stuff like that. Like this guy like uses his hands. Like his soul goes into it through his hands. Like he's like carving every little piece. It's nuts, dude.
He has his own sweatshop, and he's the sweatshop in the sweatshop. Pretty much,
he's like this ultra creative person. That's like he's definitely an artist. And art, you know, you can't put like timelines on art, and that's how he like engineers things so much because he just thinks about it for so long, you know.
Yeah, and it's funny because he's just, I don't know, like a perfectionist, and you look at, he'll show you something, you're like, that's badass, dude. You're there.
Yeah, he's like, nope, not ready yet.
Not ready yet. And then when he shows it to you again, you're like, fuck, I never thought of that. I never really thought about that.
Dude, so like that's what it's like working for him. It's like he'll ask you what you think of something, and he already knows he doesn't like it.
He wants your opinion.
Yeah, he wants you to say that you don't like it either.
Yeah.
Like so you'll say, oh, I think that's sick, and he'll be like, well, I don't like this.
And he's like, you think?
Yeah.
When he said you think, you're like, right. Oh, yeah. No, Brian, I don't like it. I don't know what you want me to tell you. It's cool, bro.
Well, see, the tricks go both ways, so you can't say you don't like it either. Because what if he really likes it? Then it's like, oh,
yeah,
man, answered wrong.
The double whammy, bro. You don't know what to say. You're like, what do you think, Brian?
Who's been your favorite teammate over the years?
My favorite teammate over the years. There been so many of them, man.
Yeah,
I honestly think Rich, our captain, he's one of those guys that, I mean, a lot of us, I feel like when we were on the team, we would tell each other, hey, dude, come on. Hey, Zyzek, come on, look down, shoot this tape, blah, blah, blah. Where Rich would come up to him and be like, hey, Catfish, you're fucking sucking right now, bro. He would not sugarcoat it. And he's like, you fucking sucking right now, bro. I'm going to have to sit you. You gotta find something. I don't even know what you got to do. You just got to do something. And it's just that enough where you're just kind of like, man, fuck you, man. And then you go to perform, and then he made that fucking stupid drill after me, which I hated so much. Stupid catfish drill.
Which one's that?
The one where we have to run to the 50-yard line.
Oh my gosh! I was talking to Yosh about that drill, where it's like the bad guys get to stand there and shoot you as you dive into the hard ground. Yeah,
I remember
one time
I was running in and I could pretty much hear Davey just laughing as I'm getting fucking lit. And then I get out and then my gun I would just throw my gun, and it got to a point where they were like, don't throw your gun, dude. That's a bomb. Don't throw your gun. And I would hate it because they would be like, okay, you got to get to the 50. You got to get in there, Catfish. I'm like, oh, this is going to suck. And then you run.
Yeah, it's like you're posted right there.
Yeah,
like, of course you're going to shoot me.
I'm like, are they in? Oh, they're in. Okay. And then you just And at that time, we were playing with the no caps, and that fucking sucked.
Yeah. The big heavy matrices, like the big ones,
Oh yeah. We had those the armadillos and all those heavy ones. I don't know how we ran with those tanks those things were heavy, bro.
Dude, it's like a miracle, because I was a lot smaller back then. So the guns were like they were a noticeably large gun that this little guy was holding,
They were. And it's kind of like they would try everything to make them lighter. Oh, we're gonna cut a little bit here, and you
cut half of it off, right? Yeah. Remember the Ironmen matrices where half the body was cut off and had the eyes and stuff.
Those looked super cool, but they were still heavy as shit, man.
Still heavy, dude.
Yeah, like you're running with weights on your hand. You know what I mean? Kind of sucks.
I remember when the DM4s came out, the first version of the DM.
Okay, yeah.
And we used them at I think it was Vegas NXL. It was one of the first NXL events. And you gave this crazy speech in the huddle, like, you want a faster gun? Look what the fuck's in your hand. You want this? It was a good speech, but that was the main part I remember. It's like, we do have good guns.
Yeah, because after everyone was at the time, everyone had angels, everyone had the intimidators, and those guys are out shooting this, out shooting that, and you would just hear it, And then finally, it's just kind of like, hey, motherfuckers were crying all this time. You want a faster gun? Here it is. Billy built a faster gun. Let's go. You got to do this. You know what I mean? Like.
And then we got mowed by the All-A's. And everyone was crying.
They had faster guns. They had faster guns, Zyzek.
They did. They had smaller, faster guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was and everyone left, dude.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was a turning point for the team. It was and that was the dark times. Those are the dark times.
Dark ages of the Ironmen.
I think you, me, Billy,
Art,
and
Eric Roberts
were the only ones that stuck around.
Yeah, and then you and Art left real close after that.
Yeah. Then I don't know. It was just too much because you know what? At that point, it's hard to go through a breakup like that. I don't know. Because it was all our friends. We had friends on the other end. We had friends on the team still. And it just wasn't fun for me anymore at that point. Yeah. So that's why I decided to kind of step away from it all.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. It was definitely it was a few years of rebuilding until Oliver came along, and and then we got got a solid squad. But there was a while where Shane, put back on his jersey and he was playing, and we picked up a bunch of people from SC Village that had never played pro before.
Yeah, I remember.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
Who do you think is someone that you love to watch play paintball, whether they're still playing or not? Like, who's someone you got to watch them?
That I gotta watch.
Gotta watch.
I have a couple people. Yosh, love Yosh. He's real methodical, and he's not the fastest guy there, but damn can he play and damn can he make those spots, man. Mm-hmm. You know? Colt Roberts is another one. Colt Roberts. I like watching Archie. Archie's another one that I like. I really didn't watch him too much until I think 2 years ago was Mouse. I really like Mouse. I remember him as this little guy back in the day when we were
skinny guy, pro. Yeah,
skinny ass guy. Not no more, no more. Yeah, motherfucker is huge, So yeah, for him, and he's out there running and gunning and just taking scalps, man. So those are a couple of guys that I like. I mean, I don't watch too much paintball because if I watch too much of it, the heart and the mind go, you can fucking do this. You can
Catfish. Come on back.
You can
play some 10-man.
Yeah. And then I go out and play like SC Village, and my knees are like, motherfucker, you can't. You cannot do this no more. Don't listen to the other two idiots. You cannot do this anymore.
Listen to ibuprofen.
Yeah. Listen to ibuprofen when you get home. But yeah, I enjoy watching it, but I can, like I said, I got to watch in bits, because if I just sit there, I'm like, oh man, I can do this. I start jogging, start losing some weight. I can do this. I like food too much, Zyzek. I like food too much.
Well, it's in your blood. You're Filipino.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
we do like
delicious food.
Yeah, exactly.
I just had some adobo last night.
Oof, my wife, she learned how to make chicken adobo for my niece and nephew who came over from the Philippines, and she makes a killer chicken adobo. So, as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to let her know she needs to make that this weekend.
Okay, have her try this. After they make the adobo in the pot, right?
Yep.
After the chicken's done, take it out and fry it. Fry it on both sides, then put it back in the adobo.
Can you air fry it or just fry it?
Yeah, I'm sure you could air fry it, but my wife puts like enough oil in the pan to where you put the chicken down and it covers like half of it. Ooh. So when you flip it over, it gets fried on all sides. Ooh. So fry it and then stick it back in the adobo.
Get a little crisp to it, bro. I'm getting hungry. You make me hungry, Zyzek.
Yeah, So Catfish, what's a paintball item that you no longer have that you wish you still had?
Would have to be our jersey from the Commander's Cup, the all-in jersey. So I went around and had all of our friends' wives and girlfriends at the time sign my jersey. And they said there was some ridiculous stuff on there. I remember Amanda Williamson put something on there. Yosh's wife Mel put something on there. There was a lot of people put some stuff on there that was pretty ridiculous, and we ended up winning the tournament. Then I had you guys all sign it, and I was gonna frame it, but I had a water leak at my house and it got flooded, and it took the jersey. I pulled the jersey out, and it was just half of it was like blank already, like it was just sitting in water. And that's one jersey I wish I had still, honestly.
Yeah. I still got mine, if that makes you feel any better.
It makes me feel a lot better that one of us has
it. What's an item that you have that's cherished?
An item that I have is I recently got, how this big Hormesis craze has been hitting the paintball world. And
sure,
when Alex and Oliver decided to make these, they named them off a bunch of us, a bunch of their friends. And they named one after me. But I guess I had talked to Alex, and he said, "Oh, we didn't think you guys were gonna care if you guys wanted one. We just named them after you." I was like, dude, that's an honor. That's an honor to get an item named after you, dude. Of course I want it. So at the time, I told them, do you have any? They're like, no, we sold out. Don't have any. There's nothing. We don't have any. So
Jeez.
I've been every time in the Hermeses community, I'm always putting out, anyone has a Catfish band, let me know. And nothing. And finally, some guy in Florida, Jacob, decided to put one up for sale. And I got it right here, actually. Catfish band. 74 out of 100. You're
not gonna keep it hermetically sealed?
Oh no, I'm wearing this bad boy.
Okay.
This is it right here. It's getting worn. It's the chainsaw. There's a little sweet little chainsaw on it right there. But yeah, he put it up, and I was like, I gotta have it. And I reached out to him, and I was like, hey man, believe it or not, that was named after me, and I really like to get it. And like, what are we trading? And I had a couple items that Oliver and Alex had sent me. Like I had a whole jumpsuit, like a camouflage suit, Hermeses one, and then I had I think it was like a medicine man headband. And he was like, I'll take. He said, what if we trade both of those? And I was like, done. I didn't care.
He raked you across the coals. He just knew.
No, he knew. Like, but hey, I got my headband right here. This was named after me, so now I get to wear one. And it's been, I don't know, I think it came out like 2 years ago or something like that, and finally got one in my hands. So yeah, I think that right now is my most cherished paintball item right now.
That's a good one, dude.
That's not too many people get. I mean, unless the big names, get stuff named after them, and like I said, I wasn't too flashy of a player, so it was nice to have something. It's nice to be recognized,
Well, I would say certainly. I just spoke with Gator, and I'm going to use a term that he used. A lot of the modern day pros are walking on the bricks that you laid.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe we did a lot of the work, and it also it's like giving back as well. But I mean, we were the groundwork, and we got to teach them it's just got to kind of teach them how it was done back in the day a little bit. We got this new generation coming out, and it's not like it was before, and they think they have it hard, and you're just kind of like, no, dude, don't have it hard at all, bro. Not even,
you got turf. You got turf, player?
You got turf.
we had concrete.
Yeah, concrete. We had rocks. We had turf on top of rocks, and
if we're lucky.
Yeah, if we were lucky, so
But Rich's Field didn't have turf, dude. Rich's Field was just straight up like jagged rocks.
Jagged rocks. Rich's Field. Oh, God bless.
And then doing the catfish drill on that field
sucked, man. And you had to dive into these pipes, and oh man, I had nightmares, bro. I think he still tortures. I think Junior Brown is now running the team, and he tortures them with the catfish drill. I'm like, oh man,
good.
Poor, yeah.
Build some character.
Feel my pain. Feel my pain.
What advice would you give to the new generation of paintball players looking to go pro? Maybe that are not there yet, but are looking to go there.
I would say humble. You got to be humble, man. I mean, you got to be it's weird because you got to be a little bit of humble, and you got to be a little bit of aggressive, like flashiness, but because you want to be you want to play with the flash. You want to be able to make the moves like you want to make all the Oliver moves. Man, he came back. What was it, like 20 years later, and still making those goddamn moves up the middle? And I mean, it goes to show you I think also you need to be patient. A lot of these guys like to force the move, and you just got to let it come to you. So I don't know. It's weird. A little bit of be humble and be patient. Yeah, you got to be humble. You got to be patient. Be balanced.
Right on. Catfish, how do you want to be remembered in paintball?
I don't know. I don't know if anyone remembers me in paintball.
I do.
I just want to be remembered as a nice guy. I guess. I mean,
not an option. No, that ship has sailed.
That ship is
You're
sailed.
a dick.
Yeah. I want to be remembered as someone that gave it their all, you know, and didn't and sacrificed and, you know, did it, you know, be an example to these young kids coming up, you know, trying to, you know, live the dream and going out every weekend and sacrificing. I mean, I remember when we were on the Ironman, I would come over, I would go to practice hungover sometimes, throwing up, and you just gotta grind, man. You gotta grind.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of these kids coming up feel like they're privileged and they don't need to do any of that, you know, and they don't feel the need that they got to earn it sometimes, you know. You talk to some of these kids out here, oh, I'm the hottest shit ever and I can do this, I can do that, and this and that. Well, you're still playing at SC Village, player. I don't know what kind of hot shit you are, you know. You're still here at the these falling apart hypertubes playing, you know, and it's just you know, and you're playing against me with the mech, and I don't understand why I keep shooting you as you go to that corner. Like, you know, I'm old already, you know, and it's kind of funny, actually. It is kind of funny going out there with a mech and just shooting these kids with these $1,000 guns, and it's just kind of like, you're not patient enough, bro. You still don't have it. You gotta let the game come to you.
In paintball, dude. This like this instant gratification type cultures is permeated the entirety of society, right?
Yeah.
And it just happens that we just get some of that in paintball. So, you know, it is what it is, right?
Yeah. I think it has to, like, I actually was talking to Maddie the other day, and he was talking, he's a big history buff, and he talk about history. Love the guy, but, you know, he's super smart. But it's kind of like, that's what, you know, the younger guys need to learn from us and learn from our mistakes and not make the mistakes that we made, you know what I mean? And just go off of that. But a lot of these kids aren't doing that. So I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's like, who is considered an old guy, like, for you? Like, when you came on to the Ironman, who was old? Like Marty?
Yeah. Marty? I would consider Marty was the oldest guy when I came on the Ironman.
Okay. But he could still ball, right? He still commanded respect.
She commanded respect because he was a hell of a shot. And you would go out there and you'd be like, oh, I'm going to smoke this old motherfucker off the break right here. And you wouldn't because he wouldn't go out, you know? And then all of a sudden, if you gave him too much, your shoulder was taken off. You know what I mean? Like, those guys commanded a lot of respect as well. But sometimes you got to be a little, I don't know. It's hard because when I was when the first time I came on the Ironman, we came to a practice and Clayton was there. He wasn't playing with the Ironman, but he was there for the practice, and he was like, "Oh, you young kids, if I was playing, I would, you know, do this and this and just smoke all you guys." And I remember I mouthed off to him. I was like, "Well, you ain't putting no gear on, motherfucker. Let me see. Put it on and let's get it on." I remember when I said that, I got his respect because Clayton was this big monster on the Ironman that no one ever talked to like that, you know? And so I think I got a little bit of his respect. But with that being said, after I said it, I was like, "Oh God, please don't punch me. Please don't hit me."
Dude, I remember in Ironman practice when Marty came back because the team needed help. And this is when Brandon Short was on the team, and Pitts Brothers and Paul Caddick.
Okay, yeah.
Scott Kemp. And we were doing this running and gunning drill. And Shane was at the end of the field, and he blew a whistle when you hit and you couldn't move from your spot until you hit your whatever your target was. So you hit the target, he blew the whistle, you move to the next spot, shoot the target, move to the next spot, and it's like you run down the field running and gunning and shooting stuff. And like Marty lost it. Like he just lost his mind because a bunch of the guys would shoot their bunker before they come out. Right? Like they're shooting, like these guns are like full auto. And it's like, so it's like blowing up the side of their own bunker before, you know, they eventually make it out and start putting balls in their target.
Yeah.
And he's got like, he's there with an angel that has like a red dot sight on it.
Yeah. And then we all made fun of him for that. Yeah.
Yeah. he's like, no one here is aiming. So, like, I want to see someone aim and shoot like 3 balls and hit 3 balls on there. And then, like, he just was going on this rant about how no one aims and you're giving away your position by blowing up your bunker, which he's right, you know.
Yeah.
But it was just fun to watch him blow a gasket. Because...
Yeah. I remember that. We just come out and just blow like 4 balls in the bunker in front of you as you come out. I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like you said, those guns were just kind of like you touch it once and it would just go off. But those were the days. Those were the days where you would take 30 hits going into a bunker and take 15 walking off the sideline, man. It was...
See, people don't know what that...
they don't.
Now it's 10 balls a second, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's ramping. It's not full auto.
Okay.
So speak a little bit on this, because back in the day we had full auto, uncapped rate of fire. You could shoot as fast as the loader would feed. We had halos on there, and it was not uncommon for someone to shoot 30 balls a second. I didn't know how we made spots like back then, you know?
Dude, so I remember playing Avalanche once, and I try to make this move to the 50 snake, and I'm making it. I'm almost there. I'm starting to dive in, and as I'm diving in midair, I can feel just my side erupt in pain, and I'm just kind of like diving in, and I literally dove in and laid there for a second, and the ref's like, "You got to come out," and I was like, "Give me a second." I was like, and I pushed my gun off away from me. I was like, "Yeah, give me a second. Like I can't. Like I got hit so hard, I lost my breath, really." And then when I stand up, I must have taken like 20 more. And I love this guy to death. And I love this guy who I'm about to name to death. But Chris Lasoya, your fucking guns were never legit. I love you, brother. But none of those guns you used were legit. And I remember going, wow, dude. It felt like I got punched in the side. And then I dove in. And then I was just kind of like, oh my God, that hurt.
My ribs are broken.
And I pushed the gun to the side, and then I stood up to get out, and I just take like 15 more, and I'm like, okay, and I can look over, and I just see this ponytail running down the field, and I'm just kind of like, Jesus. But I remember those guns, Chris. I love you, Chris, but come on, brother. You know for a fact none of your guns were legit.
Well, I mean, they didn't have to be legit. Full auto uncapped, like you could have that. But like, Chris still to this day has an itchy trigger finger, right? So even if he knows he puts paint on you, like he's waiting for that hand to go up or whatever to gum up so he can give extra. So that's just how he is, and that's how he does it.
Yeah, I love
but like, dude. If he's got a full auto gun that shoots 30 balls a second, like, and you stand up quick, like. By the time he sees like a little piece that he's aiming for, there's 30 balls in the air, and you stand up into him, and they all hit you.
Comes up,
and you just crumble to the ground.
You're wearing half his hopper, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sucked, but I love Chris to death. But yeah, his guns, he had some ridiculous ass guns. You would watch him from the sideline and just be like, I don't understand that. I don't.
Those intimidators that he had, those yellow and black intimidator,
the
Lasoya one.
Bobby was a bit of a genius himself, and when he came up with those, and Chris started shooting it, it was you legitimately gave Chris Lasoya a machine gun in his hand, and to do what he wanted. And Chris wasn't one of those guys that would shoot you from far. He needed to be up close and personal, and just be like, "Hey, Catfish," as he put like 10 balls in your head, Yeah. So that's the kind of player Chris was. I mean, there's some aggressive players now. Yeah, he still is. There's some aggressive players now, but back in the day, I don't know, man. We had some crazy guys out there. Like you had the Lasoyas.
Dude, Chris is more than aggressive though, right? Like he went out there with a mission to hurt people.
Well,
like he's gonna put it on someone,
It's with Chris. It was it was like the star, like ooh, Chris Lasoya, the rock star. And then there was also the fear factor that he would just demolish you, if he had the chance, like legit or not legit. If you know what I mean? Like if you stood up and he had a chance to look the other way and pull the trigger 2 times and 30 balls came out, that you were wearing all 30 of those balls. And then next time you played him, you were like, fuck, I don't know if I want to go to that spot because Chris is going to be over there and he's going to shoot the shit out of me. I don't know. And it worked for Chris because that's what it was. There's a lot of us. didn't care, and we just absorbed the pain.
Dude, some people would get in a Mexican standoff with Chris. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Beretta.
Do you just want to die? Yes.
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, him and Beretta in the middle field. There's a video of that somewhere where they just stood toe to toe, just inches away with the gun barrels to their faces, just and then they would high five each other and walk off the field and have a beer later. And that's what the thing you gotta love about Chris. He would just do some ruthless shit, but then when you walked off, he'd be like, "Yeah, I did it. Here's a beer." That's and he and always kind of forgotten, until the next game.
Yeah. Davey was kind of like that too. Davey would do that with cheating. Like, wipe the goggle head, or whatever. Like, wow. I can't believe you just told that guy that.
Those guys with Davey and Lasoya, I have the most respect for, because they were those kind of guys that would tell you straight up, "Hey, I'm a dick. You like me the way I am, or you don't." They would would tell you straight, and they were them. You had to respect that. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Chris still plays. He still plays the 10-mans. You got to come out.
I want to come out, man. I have the Filipino team. They actually reached out to me, so I might try and play a couple tournaments with them. I do want to play some tournaments with you guys as well. So I gotta play a couple more. I gotta play paintball a little bit more. Sweat off some of these extra pounds that I got. So
have you played with Team Philippines before?
No, I have not. But like they have like JP, Arnold, and Quincy and all those guys. I think Todd's coaching them now too. So
I just imagine that like there's lots of food.
Yeah. If anything, I'm just gonna go for the food. Don't play me. I'm here for the lumpias and the adobo. I'm good. Yeah.
Like I hope that's the case.
Yeah, that'd be fun if that's the case.
I wonder if hybrid Filipinos are allowed, because I'm only half.
I'm half. So yeah, you're allowed.
Okay, you gave me the pass.
Yeah, you get the pass, brother. You definitely get the pass.
Right on. Cool. Well, Catfish, what are you most thankful for that paintball's given you?
Friendship. All the friends that I've made, like you. I mean, friends in Europe, got to travel the world. I think if anything, that I'm grateful for paintball is giving me the experience to experience how the other side of the world lives. So I get to see that kind of stuff. All the friends I made along the way. Just experiences and friendships that I've made that I'm so grateful for. I still reach out to them once in a while. I mean, it's hard now with the family and all, but it's still like I can reach out to someone and they're, "Hey, what's up, Catfish? What's going on?" It's just lifetime friendships that we've made, playing this sport.
It's crazy too. Like if you think about some of the experiences that you've had, picture and imagine you never found paintball. Do you think you could have experienced those things without paintball? Like how else would you?
Not a chance.
How else would you?
It's hard. You would have to be born into a wealthy family to experience a lot of stuff we experience. You got to be able to pay for your flights everywhere.
Yeah.
And to because I tell you one thing, me growing up, I'm not even middle class, I wouldn't say, I got lucky and found paintball, and that opened my eyes to a lot of things that I would never have experienced. I was lucky enough to, stay out of doing dumb things, getting into gangs and stuff like that. Because my neighborhood where I used to live was, even where I still live, there's still like, kids doing dumb things, and it's just, if those kids could just, focus all that dumbass energy that they're using to do stupid shit into like paintball or something, they possibly could experience a lifetime, like, of enjoyment, man. I mean, with friendships and everything. So yeah.
Great. Well, Catfish, thank you for your time here, buddy. Is there anything that you'd like to part with for the paintball community?
Just thank you, Zyzek, for having me on. And, I would just say, got to be a little humble out there, man. Off the field, you may be a superstar on the field, but off the field, you got to always think, that kid that you interact with, you may affect their life somehow in the future. Just take a time, sign an autograph, take a picture. paintball is a great sport. It has some limelight, but it's not like, I mean,
you ain't famous outside of paintball.
You ain't famous out. You're no, Clayton Kershaw. You're no Tatis. You're no, Aaron Judge. You're not those. Those are superstars. Like you don't act like those type of cats sometimes. Like you're just be you and be humble to everyone around you, because just remember when you were coming up, and if you were lucky enough to have one of us come up to you and give you pointers and help you out, it's just giving back to the community. That's all it is, pretty much.
I love it. Thank you, Catfish.
Thank you, Zyzek.